Hi, it's a Tiny Gamer, and let's play some more Cryptid Coffeehouse. So last time we had the house party. I got a little bold at the house party, and I'm kind of glad I did. It turned into a very cute little scene, and I'm ready for the next little scenario that we have going on. The next scenario, so I played this on stream, and this next part, this was the last scene that I played before I ended stream for the night. This is supposed to be like a 7 to 9 hour game. So yeah, let's check that out. Check my settings real quick. Alright, cool. Oh, game. This one. Another warm autumn week passes, but you're cautious. You know the temperature could plummet at the drop of a hat. Webs has not only become your constant workspace, but also a constant place to meet up with Artemis, which happens to be the case today. Artemis had texted you at 1 in the morning, talking about some sort of surprise outing they wanted to take you on. You had been half asleep when you received the text, barely able to respond with a properly spelled OK. They proceed to send you 3 more texts with details about this surprise outing, but you had passed out before reading them. Meet me at Webb's at 3, they texted. Also bring spare change, okay? You hadn't listened to their instructions, or at least the ones you could remember. You're here at Webb's, just past 3, and there's a cluster of quarters tucked into your wallet. You're hoping Artemis hadn't told you something else aside from these things, because you definitely forgot if they did. You haven't been waiting here very long, but the temptation of the coffee bar is poking at your brain. You know you should save your money for whatever Artemis is having the two of you do today, but I have plenty. Let's get a drink. Might as well get something while you're here. What's the point of staying at a coffee shop if you don't order any coffee? Also, if you've noticed, a lot of times and I'm trying to be more consistent about this, especially now that my editing skills are getting better, but like, if there is swearing, like hard F-bombs or whatever, I try to cover it up with like a little emoticon or a little emoji, and if I verbally say it, I try to censor it out. So if that's annoying to you, I apologize. It's just it's YouTube. You know how YouTube is with randomly censoring stuff, so I'm trying to be cautious. Might as well get something while you're here. What's the point of staying in a coffee shop if you didn't order any coffee? You go ahead and stand in the line, wondering what you're gonna get. Maybe you can get Artemis something too. Okay. Let's get something for the both of us. Watch me run out of money. Yes, let's see. You think that maybe Artemis will appreciate you getting them something to drink. Wow. Let me read that again. You think that maybe Artemis will appreciate you getting them something to drink. It won't make up for all the kindness they provided you since you met, but it's definitely something. Besides, you think you remember what their favorite coffee is. You don't think you could ever forget after they spilled it all over you a couple weeks ago. The night shift barista Taz is at the register when you walk up. He's on his phone and doesn't realize you're standing there until he does a double take.
Hey,
They move their phone to the side of the counter, pushing their bangs out of their eyes. What can I get for you? You notice that Taz isn't exactly one for small talk. I'm going to get a vanilla iced coffee. A vanilla iced coffee? Sounds good. Could I also get a medium iced black coffee with some cinnamon? Could I get a medium iced black coffee with some cinnamon powder? Taz nods slowly, pressing some buttons on the register screen. Yeah. Once he tells you the price, you go ahead and pay.
I'll be down at the end for you in a bit.
Aw, thank you. Dad nods idly in your direction, and you go back to the end of the down to the end of the counter. You pull your phone out of your back pocket to keep yourself distracted while you wait. You're only on it for about a minute before Taz calls out your drinks. You go up to the handoff counter and pick both drinks up. Then go back to the table you were sitting at previously to wait for Artemis. You're not waiting for much longer. After about 5 minutes, someone raps on the surface of the table you're sitting at with their knuckles. You look up to see Artemis gazing down at you with a grin.
Hey.
Hey, stranger. Hey. I got you coffee. I hope you're not already caffeinated. Oh, Artemis' eyes go wide. Their cheeks flush a pleasant pink color, and they smile.
Aw.
You did? You push the iced coffee toward the edge of the table. They look down at it, sticking their bottom lip out in a pout that shouldn't be as endearing as it is. Black iced coffee with cinnamon, right? Oh, Artemis looks like they're either going to start crying or spontaneously combust.
Yeah.
That's right. I can't believe you remember my order.
Thank you.
Oh. You smile up at them. They shyly smile back at you, face red. You're welcome. It's no biggie. The way they're looking at you definitely shows that they absolutely think it's a biggie. But they don't say anything else. Simply lifting the iced coffee to their lips and taking a long, satisfying sip. They nod happily once they swallow, and you feel your smile grow. You get up from your spot at the table and smooth out the few wrinkles in your shirt. Artemis watches you do so. You ready? Yeah. Alright, cool, let's go. Artemis leads the way out of the coffee shop, with you close on their heels. You honestly have no idea where you're going. Excuse me, so you hope Artemis has a clue. Sorry, hiccups. The afternoon is clear and bright. The hot sun shines down onto the sidewalk, barely masked by the clouds. You're walking alongside Artemis in a comfortable silence for about a minute before your curiosity gets the best of you. You know this whole afternoon is supposed to be a surprise, but really, this is you. Where are we going? Artemis casts you a sly smile, their eyes lidded. It's a surprise. I told you that over text. I know, but where are we going? Artemis reaches out and nudges their knuckle against your cheek. You flush and bat them away, trying not to smile. I told you it's a surprise. You'll see when we get there. But I'm so impatient. Get patient then. Oh my god. The two of you playfully bicker back and forth until Artemis stops abruptly in the middle of the sidewalk. You skid to a halt, confused. When you turn back to them, they simply point at the tall steel sign sticking up from the sidewalk. It's a bus stop. Oh. The bus? Can't drive, remember? You remember. You stifle a snicker. Artemis stares at you, but if the twitching of the corners of their mouths is any indication, they're not as irritated as they try to make themselves out to be. Hey now, you can't drive either, so I don't want to hear it. I didn't say anything.
I can read your mind. Special Artemis powers.
I love the little, like... You laugh out loud despite your best efforts. Artemis has a crooked grin on their face. Okay, I suppose I'll believe you. You better. They say it as gravely as possible, schooling their face into something expressionless. You sock them in the arm, and whatever lingering serious they're trying to hold on to crumbles like a brittle cookie. You're such a dork. They laugh, hair falling over their brow. You laugh along with them until it lapses into another comfortable silence. You make small talk with them until you can see the bus on the horizon. You've taken this line a couple times before, but you're not exactly sure what's on this route. One thing you know is that the bus is $1.75. Luckily, Artemis had you bring spare change. Honestly, you would have brought it regardless. The bus rolls up to the curb, stopping right in front of the both of you. Artemis gestures for you to go ahead of them with a wave of their hand. You dip your head in thanks, stepping onto the bus and feeding your quarters into the coin dispenser. The fare machine beeps and you walk down the aisle to find the first pair of seats. Artemis follows after a beat, settling down next to you. The doors close behind them and the bus begins to rumble down the street. You still have no clue where Artemis has you going. You have no clue how long this bus ride is going to take either. It doesn't seem that Artemis is going to tell you anytime soon, because they're simply gazing down the aisle and out the windshield. Maybe you can make the time pass with a little small talk. I'm going to ask for a hint. So? Artemis peers at you from over their glasses. They hum in acknowledgement. You smile as charmingly as you can. Can I get a hint? Artemis shakes her head and smiles, amused. No, you can't. You poke Artemis's arm repeatedly. You turn your voice into a pouty whine. Okay, this part I kind of didn't like. Oh, come on, why not? It'll ruin the surprise, silly. Stop poking me. No. Can I phone a friend? This makes Artemis snort. What friend could you possibly phone? This is my idea. No, actually, I'm going to phone someone right now. Okay, this part, but then this part right here was actually kind of funny. You turn your hand into a phone, sticking your pinky out and pretending it's a voice receiver. Artemis stares at you, seemingly trying to keep from laughing. Yeah, hey, hello? Artemis Scarberry on the line?
Oh my god.
You pull your phone, quote unquote, from your face, covering it with your other hand. Pick up the phone. Artemis scans your face, finding a smile, then sighs, forming a phone with their own hand. Hello? Yes, hello. I'm calling to phone a friend about a hint as to where we're going. Artemis is silent for a moment. They look so silly with their hand phone up next to their face. And you start to laugh without meaning to. Artemis's expression cracks. They dip their head, laughing softly. Well, unfortunately, I have no hints for you, since it's a surprise. You drop your hand from your face, your mouth opening in disbelief. Artemis grins, shielding themselves with their arms when you start poking them again. Artemis! What? It's a surprise. No, just one hit? Just a little hint? No, Tiny, I will not give you a hint. You'll see when we get there. You sigh dramatically, flopping against the bus wall. You suppose you can wait to figure out where you're going. At least you tried. So I am horribly bad with a lot of times with secrets. And I had this one family member. I used to joke with this family member all the time whenever they said, oh, I got you something. I would say, what'd you get me? And this family member is autistic and could not keep a secret. So they would just tell me. And then I would get in trouble with an older family member because of that. Even though it's a joke, I'm just, hey, what'd you get me, They're supposed to say, oh, it's a surprise. But at the time, they were way too young to realize that what the joke was, I guess. And I didn't realize it now until hindsight. But yeah, so I used to get in trouble for that all the time. Oh, let's see about the coin collection. Are you still collecting those coins? This question seems to take Artemis by surprise. The coins? It takes you a second to remember what kind of coins they had said they were collecting the other week. The nickels. The nickels? Artemis peers at you for a moment, squinting their eyes as they seem to try and remember what on earth you're talking about. You watch them cycle through several different emotions before something dawns on their face. Oh, the nickels. Yeah. Whatever happened to those? There's a pause. Then Artemis turns an absolutely astonishing shade of pink. They start picking at a loose thread on their shirt sleeve, averting their eyes and binding back what looks like an embarrassed smile. Well, I just used them. Oh my god. You have to think about this, but then you realize they used the coins they were collecting for bus fare. Oh my god. There's yet another beat of silence. You stifle a laugh, disguising it as a cough. Artemis flicks you on the thigh. Oh, hush. I couldn't find my dollar bills this morning, even though I swore I left them in my wallet. I was going to be late to meet you, so I couldn't spend time digging through all my stuff to find my singles. So I just, borrowed from my collection. Oh my god. My impulse control is awful. I'm pretty sure I told you that when I first told you about this coin thing. Haha, so no more coin collecting? Artemis shakes her head, her smile going crooked. No more coin collecting. I think I need to find a hobby that doesn't involve collecting money. I'll be too tempted to dip into it. They laugh softly, and you're not far behind them, not bothering to hide it this time. Honestly, at one point in time, I thought it'd be cool to collect quarters. And I did the same thing. I would collect them. Actually, no, with the quarters, though, I was collecting the quarters that had the mint dates. That was my birth year. And yeah, I end up having to use them for something. I don't know what it is now, but yeah, no more coin collecting for me either. They laugh softly and you're not far behind them, not bothering to hide it this time. Can I ask you a weird question? Artemis quirks up an eyebrow, gliding their gaze toward you slowly. You feel your neck prickle a little. Sure, what is it? You're starting to get shy. This is probably a strange question to ask. It's kind of personal. Let me know if it makes you uncomfortable.
You're not really setting this up very well.
Yeah, I know I'm not. Your cheeks go hot with embarrassment. My bad. You talked about your ex at the party a little bit, about how they never came to your shows, and I don't know. I was just curious about them. Sorry if that's weird. There's a silence. From the look on Artemis's face, it's obvious they weren't expecting you to ask them this. Artemis looks back out the bus windshield for a moment. Then they look back at you. Something unreadable on their face. Well, yeah, he never went to any of my shows. It was when the band had just started out, so we only played at house parties like once every month. Artemis scratches their cheek, averting their eyes. It was okay, I loved him, so I told myself that it didn't matter. Besides, he didn't like punk rock too much, haha. You're not sure whether to laugh along or not. You elect for the latter, keeping quiet as Artemis continues. But it does suck though. It's the same feeling as when you're a kid and your parents never show up to your recitals or your basketball games or whatever because they're quote unquote busy. And you excuse it because they work hard for you and because you love them, but you know it's painful to look out in the crowd and not see their faces. Dating Albie, that's his name, Albie. Dating him was a lot like that, except he wouldn't go to things because he just didn't want to. That's kind of mean. I mean, you invest time and energy and all that into another person to form like a bond in a relationship. So why wouldn't you try to at least try to make an effort to be interested in the stuff that they are? I mean, I can't blame him, but it sucks to be scared before your first house show and not see the only person that tends to keep you calm. Artemis hesitates and shrugs. He was pretty hot though. Hot enough that I let too many things slide, even when I should have said something. Your mouth tilts up at the corners when they say that. They go silent again, but this time something fawned crosses their face. He was tall, like taller than me, super hairy, and his beard always scratched my face. And he always kept his hair long, but he had a nice smile, and he gave good hugs. He had a huge shoe size though. I guess that comes with being insanely tall. But that was like a year ago, and I haven't talked to him since we broke up, so... The sentence peters off into a heavy silence. Without meaning to, you shifted the mood into something that's not exactly light, and you find yourself really wanting to switch it back. Your brain stutters for a moment, then you blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. That's an inside thought. Like, come on. I know that's a joke and all that, but come on. Also, that's not always the case, just FYI. Wow, well, you know what they say about people with big shoe sizes. Artemis just stares at you for a second. Your face is hot.
What?
Oh, the what?
Oh. Oh. Yeah, no. What they say is definitely true.
Well, in this case, it seems. Despite your best efforts, you start to giggle awkwardly. Artemis has the audacity to blush, covering their face with their hands. You can see that they're hiding a stupid smile behind their fingers. Honey, you're so... I can't believe that's your takeaway from all this. I can't believe it either. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. Yes, you could. About their day. So how was your day today? Topic of conversation goes skirt. Artemis looks over at you and smiles. That's a cute question. You flush. Better than the last question. Stop. Oh my gosh, just answer the question. I'm trying to be polite. Artemis laughs out loud, their glasses slipping down their nose when they tilt their head to the side. A thick lock of hair falls into their eyes. Yeah, but it's so cute. I've got to say, you've hit my sweet spot with that one. I love when people enjoy me enough to ask how my day is going. They are so coy for literally no reason. It's times like these where you think you might hate Artemis. Answer the damn question, Artemis, or I'm never going to be polite to you ever again. Dizzy. Oh wow, that's a loaded threat. You thump your fist against Artemis's leg in exaggerated frustration. Artemis laughs again. My day's been good. I slept until about an hour before I met up with you at Webb's. Right, they have an absolutely insane sleep schedule. With all the night owl activities they partake in, you're almost surprised they're not completely nocturnal. I am. This is why, with my job, I have closing shifts. That sounds productive. The crooked grin that Artemis flashes you then is very endearing, even if you don't want to admit it. Oh yeah, it was. Sleep is one of the most productive things ever invented. Never mind, you're already tired of that. Oh no. I'm done. You let the next couple of moments pass in silence. Artemis still hasn't told you anything about just how long this bus ride is supposed to last. So you figure that you should figure out a way to preoccupy yourself until they tell you that's time to get off. You've never ridden this far on this line before. You spend some time gazing out the window and examining your surroundings. But after a while, you start to feel yourself getting restless. So, through my stream playthrough, I dozed on his shoulder. Let's share some music with him. You have been listening to music on your way to Webb's earlier this afternoon, and you think you still have your earbuds wound up in your back pocket. You never really like doing things in silence, so maybe the time will pass a little quicker if you put something on. You fish your headphones out of your back pocket and plug them into your phone. You pop one earbud in, then look over at Artemis, who's scrolling on one of their social media feeds. You nudge them with your knuckles. They look up at you, their eyes big and red. You offer the other earbud to them wordlessly. They blink down at it, then blink up at you for a moment, but they end up taking the earbud and putting it in. What do you want to listen to? You open up your music library and begin to scroll through it. Artemis watches you do so. Well, whatever you want to listen to, I guess. I typically listen to alt-pop. That cool with you? Anything's cool with me. I trust you. It's an offhanded comment, but it makes your chest warm a little. You find yourself trying to pick the very best music from your library, hoping Artemis likes it. When you find them bopping their head to one of your favorite songs, you have to hide a smile. The bus rumbles on, passing by stops and buildings, but suddenly Artemis speaks. Would you pull the cord? It's the next stop. Oh, what? You pause the music, slowly registering what Artemis had said. Oh, yeah. You reach over and pull the yellow cord hanging from the wall. A ding sounds throughout the bus, signaling that a stop has been requested. The bus rolls to a stop. Artemis gets up and beckons you to follow. You go out the front set of doors, passing by the driver as you leave.
Thank you.
Thanks. The driver sort of nods her head at you, and then the both of you disembark and stand on the sidewalk. The sun is out from behind the clouds, basking everything in light and warmth. Behind you, the bus continues to rumble down the street. Now, the sharing, the headphones, and the music, that is completely something that I would do, which is why I picked it. You take in your surroundings, eager to see where on earth you are now. It's not a familiar area, but it looks like you're at the base of a hill. It's a neighborhood, tightly packed with colonial-style homes. It looks pricey. Where are we?
Come on.
Be patient, we're almost there. They beckon you again with a sweeping wave of their hand. You follow them, trying your best to keep up with their long strides. How do I know you're not taking me to get... or something? This makes Artemis laugh. They cast you the coyest grin you've ever seen. They have a mischievous twinkle in their eyes.
Trust me. If I was gonna you, I would have done it already.
And have Odina on your butt? I don't think you would risk that. You're not sure how you feel about that one. It effectively shuts you up. You follow Artemis for about 5 minutes, trekking up one hill. Once you reach the top, though, you're blown away by the view. The hill overlooks a vast park and the entirety of the neighborhood. You can even see the distant city on the horizon. It's beautiful. You can't help but take your phone out to snap a picture. Oh wow. Hey, come on, it's this way. There's more? Do you really think I made you get on the bus for 35 minutes just to look at a view? Well, I don't know, Artemis. You would do that. Artemis chuckles. The breeze blows their hair away from their face. They're almost as pretty as the view.
Come on.
Yeah, I would do that, but not this time. Artemis leads you toward a set of concrete stairs, and you begin to travel up. The canopy of trees around you cool down the sidewalk. Once you get to the top of the stairs, you see a large parking lot filled with cars in front of a massive Greek revival-style building. You recognize it from pictures on FlashPic. It's the art museum. Oh my God, we're going to the art museum? Good surprise, huh? I've never been to the art museum. Wow. You reach for your phone to take another picture. This time of the front of the building. Let me try that again. You reach for your phone to take another picture. This time of the front of the building. Artemis is in the frame. You don't think they realize they're in your picture, but they look like they're part of the scene. So you don't say anything and just smile to yourself instead. Aww. And then you can see the other photo in the corner over there. You want to go in? Are you kidding? Of course I do. Alright, let's go then. The two of you trek across the parking lot and towards the front entrance of the museum. You skip up the front steps, pass through the metal detectors at the door, and walk inside. You're greeted with a vast foyer with a glass ceiling that shines sunlight down onto the guest services desk and the gift shop, which is to your left. To your right is a large arched doorway and stairs up to what look like the second and third levels of the museum. You're looking around at everything, trying to absorb it all. It's an incredible piece of architecture. Artemis has to put a hand on your back to get you moving. Their touch lingers just a bit too long, but you don't have time to dwell on it. Instead, you go up to one of the big standing poster displays next to guest services in the middle of the foyer. The map of the museum is shown here. There's so much. I don't even know what to go see first. You turn to Artemis, who's just watching you take everything in. They smile down at you. What do you want to go see? They shrug in that carefree way of theirs. Anything's cool with me. Wherever you want to go is fine. I'm just glad you're already enjoying yourself. You blush happily, dipping your head to hide it. I've just never been here before. It's exciting. I wasn't expecting to come here today. Well, you know what they say. Always expect the unexpected. They do not say that. They totally do. It's Oscar Wilde. You had no clue that Artemis read Oscar Wilde. Maybe reading Victorian-era aesthetic plays was a past hobby of theirs. You decide to pay Artemis no mind for the moment, instead observing the map of the museum. On the ground level are the ancient African, Asian, and Islamic exhibition. On the second level are the American and European exhibitions. On the third level are the modern and contemporary art exhibitions. Where would you like to go? So let's go from the ground floor to the third floor. Let's go to the first floor. Sounds like a plan to me. You nab an informational pamphlet from the guest services desk before trotting up towards the large open arch that leads into the foreign art exhibition halls. Artemis follows behind you. After leading the way for the better part of the afternoon, you suppose that it's your turn to give the orders. You don't mind this at all. You take your time going through each of the gallery halls. You like to read all the plaques and stare at all the pieces for extended periods of time. Artemis does the same, wandering around the rooms while waiting for you to get finished. While traveling from the African art exhibit to the ancient art exhibit, you decide to ask Artemis a question. Do you like art? The two of you pause in front of a selection of West African sculptures safely protected inside of a glass case. Artemis gives you a confused look. I mean, yeah. What do you mean? Like, do you enjoy this kind of thing as something you do for fun? You gaze up at them. They meet your eyes. With wonder, you watch their cheeks color. They scratch the back of their head.
Well, I mostly came here today because I thought you would like it.
Aww. I love them. Oh, that's sweet of you. Artemis grows even redder, tilting their head to the side and averting their, oh my god, look how cute, and averting their eyes. They don't say anything, but it makes you grin. You nudge their arm with your shoulder a couple times before leaning against them as you observe the sculptures in the glass case. Second floor. Let's go to the second floor. You got it, boss. The two of you walk over to the polished stone staircase and begin to make the trek up. At the landing, there are two doorways, one on your left and one on your right. The left doorway seems to lead to the American art exhibit, and the right doorway leads to the European art exhibit. You turn to Artemis, who's looking around the space. Where do you want to go? Artemis wibbles her gaze to you, then to the doorways. Other visitors mill around you, and you have to move out of the way so people can go down the stairs. Oops. Anywhere you want to go is fine. You tilt your head, sticking your bottom lip out in a playful pout. No, seriously, you pick. Excuse me. You watch Artemis blush a little. They look over at the doorways again. Well, we can start on the European art side. Ooh, excuse me. I think the whole exhibit circles around, so we'll end up in the American art side when we're done. I still need to read up on how to prevent hiccups while recording or streaming, so sorry about that. You clap your hands together brightly. Sounds like a plan. Let's go. I love yawning. Oh my god, I apologize. The two of you pass through the early European section, taking time to pause in front of the many different artworks, ranging from sculpture to paintings to recovered slabs to temple reliefs. It's all very beautiful, and you find yourself snapping pictures you know you'll let sit in your photo library once this day is over. You're passing through one of the Renaissance art rooms when you discover that Artemis has lingered behind you. You double back, seeing them paused in front of a large oil painting. It's a painting of a woman dressed in flowing white robes, red hair gathered up in an elegant twist. She stands barefoot in a small clearing, surrounded by trees and foliage. She holds a massive bow and arrow, and at her feet lays a slain deer. You sidle up to Artemis. What you looking at? Artemis. You peer at the drawing, then peer at the information printed on the wall next to it. It is indeed a painting of Artemis, the Greek goddess of the hunt. Were you named after her? Yeah, I picked it. Oh, you did? Artemis just nods, looking pensive. You gaze at their side profile for a moment, taking in the shimmer of their ear jewelry and the fluffiness of their hair around their face. It's a really good name. Artemis looks at you then. There's something swimming in their eyes. The red frames of their glasses shine under the gallery lights.
Thank you.
You smile. They smile back, suddenly sheepish. The two of you spend some more time studying the painting before Artemis touches you lightly on the shoulder, indicating they're ready to move on. You make your way through the rest of the rooms on the second floor in content silence. You feel like you're learning more about Artemis this way, in the way they look at art and in the way they look at you. Third floor. Third floor sound good to you? Yep. Alright, let's go. The stairs lead you right up to the third floor, which is laid out completely different than the rest of the museum. This floor is sleek and modern, designed in subtle neutrals. At the center of the contemporary art exhibit rests a massive abstract sculpture that appears to be made of multicolored PVC pipes. The entire floor is filled with intriguing, conceptual, and representational work from practicing contemporary artists all around the world. You find a lot of the stuff displayed in this gallery goes way over your head, but it's all fun to look at. The bright colors and interesting human forms catch your attention and definitely leaves you thinking as you move through the rooms. After a bit of wandering, you and Artemis pause in front of a massive painting that's twice your size. The canvas is painted a clean shade of blue, with one perfectly red circle in the very center. It frankly makes no sense. What do you think it means? Artemis is silent for a while, tapping their chin with their forefinger. You can't tell if they're messing around or being serious. It's probably a metaphor. Yeah, but a metaphor for what? Artemis squints at the painting as if there's something hidden that they're missing. It looks very intellectual. Maybe it's a metaphor for when you only have one more chicken nugget left. Oh my god. You start to laugh. It echoes throughout the room and you rush to muffle yourself. Artemis snorts. The two of you stand there in front of the painting for a long beat, struggling to keep quiet. Honestly, I love the chicken nugget theory. You know some of the older patrons walking around are staring at the both of you. No, yeah, that's definitely what this piece is about. I just know it. I'm telling you, I'm good at this stuff. I'm done. You decide that you've seen everything you want to see here. What an amazing way to spend the afternoon. You're milling about the ground level foyer again, with Artemis by your side. Is there anything else that you want to see? If you're done, then I'm done. This answer doesn't really satisfy you. You stop walking, forcing Artemis to stop too. Artemis, seriously, I don't want to leave if you're not ready to leave. This makes Artemis go red. You're discovering they go red very easily nowadays. Trust me, I'm fine. You peer at them. They turn their face to evade your gaze. There's a pause, but then Artemis speaks again. I really just wanted to spend the day with you, so I'm fine whenever you're fine. Your stomach turns to mush. Aw, Artemis. Artemis covers her face with her hands. You laugh softly. Oh, don't be embarrassed. This is really kind of you. Thank you. Artemis doesn't say anything after that, just tucks some hair behind their ear when they move their hands from their face. You smile, affection warming your chest. The feeling takes you by surprise. You try not to think about it now. You'll save that for when you get home. You start walking again, and Artemis quickly falls in step beside you. You're coming around towards the gift shop. Just past the gift shop is the exit. Do you want to stop? Yeah, let's go to the gift shop. Hey, wait, let's stop in here before we go. Alright. You walk into the open glass door of the gift shop. It's bustling in here, full of visitors and staff. There are so many things in here. Trinkets, prints, magnets, tableware, postcards, everything you can think of. Artemis follows behind you as you explore, picking up and putting down things of their own every so often. They spend a little bit gazing at a framed reproduction of a classical painting. After a while looking around, you're torn between a couple items that piqued your interest. There's a cute little glazed clay bowl with a house sitting on a raised island in the middle, a couple pins with designs of pieces in the museum's collection, and a pretty art book for your coffee table. You're only going to pick one thing because you're really trying to cut back on your spending. So what do you want to get? Okay. So there is, this one's $15, this one is $10, this one's $20, and this one is $25. Oh my god, yes, I have enough. I'm gonna get that one. Hey, did you want that painting? Artemis is looking through the shelf of art books right now, and they pause, meeting your eyes. Huh? The one you were looking at earlier. The one in the frame?
Oh,
Yeah, I did. But I figured it'd be best to keep my money in my wallet, haha. You laugh along with them, casting them an easy smile. Here, I'll buy it for you. Artemis grows wide-eyed. They shelved the book they were leafing through, turning towards you to give you their full attention. You don't need to do that. But I want to. It's my gift. It's the least I can do after you planning such a thoughtful afternoon. Artemis chews on their lip, suddenly shy. I'm not going to take no for an answer. Go get it and bring it here. Artemis looks at you really hard for a moment, hesitating. You nod encouragingly at them, feeling the burning of their gaze in your chest. Go on. With that, Artemis shuffles past you to retrieve the painting. They're back in a moment, handing you the picture frame like it's something invaluable. You take a look at it. It's an extremely high-quality print set inside of a frame. The print is of the Artemis oil painting the two of you had seen on the second floor. No wonder Artemis wants it. It's obvious they have a soft spot for the piece. Alright, let's go to the line. Artemis nods curtly, following you to the checkout line. You're only waiting for a couple moments before you reach the register. The transaction goes smoothly, the attendant carefully packing up the print and putting it in a bag for your convenience. Once everything is done, you hand the bag to Artemis, smiling brightly. Here you go. Artemis takes the bag from you, their cheeks flushed and their brows drawn tight over their eyes. They're gnawing at their bottom lip. For a moment, you fear that they're about to start crying.
thank you.
They say it quietly, like if they say it any louder, they might break. Your heart suddenly begins to ache, but it's not in a bad way. You're welcome. You and Artemis go ahead and leave the museum. It's almost 6, and the sun is beginning to set on the horizon. You stand on the big steps for a moment, breathing in the fresh air. You're not really sure where Artemis planned on taking you next, but you assume that's back to the bus stop. I want to take you one more place, okay? It's like they read your mind. Where? Artemis begins to walk down the steps, beckoning you to follow. You rush after them. Just follow me. It's not far from here. They can be so vague. It gets you inside. But you follow them, trying to keep up with their stride. It's quiet as they lead you down the winding sidewalk toward the backside of the museum. Birds are singing above you. Once again, you have no idea where you're going. You know if you ask Artemis. Let me try that again. You know if you ask, Artemis will give you another non-answer. So you figure that it's best to simply follow them and hope that they're not leading you to your... The sidewalk makes a sharp left. You're effectively behind the museum now. You're about to ask if going this way is even allowed, but then you see where Artemis is taking you. You come up on a quaint outdoor flower garden, surrounded by tall, neatly pruned hedges. There are hummingbird feeders set up all around the premises. As you get closer, you can see them flitting around between the feeders and the copious amount of flowers in the garden. Oh wow! From beside you, Artemis grins. Cool, huh? It's beautiful. How did you know this was back here? This is gonna sound crazy, but... Oh no. Artemis socks you gently on the shoulder, pretending to sulk. You laugh. They lead you off the sidewalk and into the grass. The garden is much bigger from up close. It smells amazing. Anyway, as I was saying, I used to actually volunteer here at the museum. Not often, since it was just a side thing and all, but I used to be here all the time. Sometimes they hold events out here. You really have done everything, haven't you? Artemis grins, then licks their lips. Everything and then some. You smile at each other, albeit a bit dorkily. Artemis continues to lead you down into the garden, weaving through the foliage and flora until you reach a clearing that houses several ornate wood benches. Artemis settles down in one and pats a spot next to them. You sit down, taking in all of your surroundings. Once again, you take out your phone and begin snapping pictures, enraptured by the beauty around you. You turn your phone towards Artemis, but you pause, lowering your hands. Let's take a picture together. Artemis' brows raise, almost like they're surprised. Then their expression softens. Something in their face makes your chest hurt. Sure. You scoot closer to them, so close that your thighs touch. You lean your head in towards theirs and lift your phone to take a picture. As you both smile, it's hard not to look at their face as the camera preview. Try that again. As you both smile, it's hard not to look at their face in the camera preview as you take the photo. The shutter goes off. You bring your phone down to see the result. You pull up the picture. It's a nice one. We look good. You suddenly realize Artemis had leaned in to see the photo, their cheek close to yours. They seem to feel you looking at them, and they lift their gaze to meet yours. The distance between you startles the both of you at the exact same moment. You both scoot away from each other, faces hot. Send me the picture when you get a chance, please. Yeah, of course. You brush your hair out of your eyes, setting your phone down in your lap. There's an awkward silence between the two of you for a moment. Thanks for today. Artemis looks at you. You watch them process the words. They smile. It's beautiful.
It's nothing. I'm just glad you had a good time.
Aww. The softness in this voice actor's voice, love it. It's perfect. I had a great time. This was really thoughtful of you. Artemis blushes harder, fighting back the grin threatening to take over their face. Just looking at them makes your own face heat, and you're not sure why. That's awesome. Maybe we can do more stuff like this. Yeah, I'd like that. You smile at them. They smile back at you. Surrounded by beautiful sun-kissed flowers, you can say with confidence that this is the best day that you've had in a while. Yay! Oh my god, that was so cute. After grinding away at all your work this week, you have $17 to add to your spending fund. You now have $23. Alright, time to save. Yes. Okay. Alright, so let's see where we're at. Okay, not bad, not bad. So yeah, that was today's video. Super cute. I love the museum dates. And you get to learn a little bit more about Artemis, you know, their little backstory. And it's very interesting that they say that they picked their name. So when I streamed this, I vaguely wondered if they could possibly be trans. But I guess we will see as we continue to play this game. But I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Next time, we'll see what else is next. So that's going to be all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe, stay happy, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye!